And good afternoon. This is the Elliott Wave daily update for the S&P 500, being recorded on Thursday, November the 6th at 3:25 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm here on the hourly chart, and I am now happy that I was able to present the alternate, which turned into the preferred here for the S&P. And so let's just kind of go over that. As I came in this morning, I had left up, I believe I did change it before I made this morning's update, that I was showing that this could have been, because it met all the requirements for this minuet fourth wave. And I put it there, but then I switched and I went to an ABC, which is just a 3, and just the A wave, and that this was the B wave. And I had given there were signals that and see they're still there, that we may have gone higher. But right now I need to take that one away. No longer needed. So now we can see it more clearly. So it was ABC A, ABC B, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're coming down in the fifth, kind of hanging out right where we are a little bit. The Nasdaq a little bit, got to buy it all back up. And so, they're busy over there doing that for whatever the reasons are. But I'm still, and I'll get to the Nasdaq on a separate recording, I'm still looking for some additional downside. Not much, though. I got to tell you, it's not much. Right now, we're trading at 67.63. And our first support zone to complete this C wave comes in at 67.30. Now, that would be 100%. That is where wave C would be equal to wave A at 67.30. So kind of interesting, but that is kind of the gig. No, sorry, take that back. That is where wave 5 would be equal to wave 1. And then where wave C would be equal to wave A has already come and gone. And I think it's right here. Let me just put that back up. No, that's where A equals C. Sorry, folks. I'll catch up. Get a little bit confused where my fifth wave is coming in and where the C wave is. So 618. 618 was up a little bit higher, and I'll put that back up. That's the one that I took down because it was now getting in the way of this 100% for the wave 5. So here's the deal. On coming down in the C wave, we're getting 5 waves. And so that, there are times I'm talking about where our fib levels are coming in 618, 101, and 1.618, and how 100 is the most common, 1.618 is number 2, and 618 is number 3. And then so often we're not automatically looking, we're automatically looking for equality, but then you have this one that kind of jumps up. And I am going to, again, take that off just because we can't see it. Let's trust me that it's 67.29. So here we have the 100% for wave 5, and that is where wave 5 is equal to wave 1. So we kind of come up 2 fib levels that are acceptable, and the S&P would have gone down and put in an additional low below that A wave, which is nice. We kind of not necessarily required, but nice. And we hit we hit 0.618, and we're counting 5. And that's important. That's a distinction I want to make now. It's like if we're looking at this in terms of the order of most popular, 618 is third. So for a C wave, the first one is equality, where C equals A, and that's down here. And then 1.618 is even further down. And then the third most common is 0.618, and that matched up with the 100% for the fifth wave. So what becomes important there is that you're in that fifth wave. And we were. So that's why it's like, okay, that works. Clean. We put in an additional in the low. We're not breaking any rules. We're fulfilling that rule by continuing for the wave to finish overlapping. So we got it again today. So everything's right on track to finish. Now, here is something I want to be adding. there's going to be a very good possibility that we finish this here during the Globex session, and we might do it more quickly. So again, I can't say that we will not continue, that we'll stop there and immediately turn and start in this fifth wave. Yes, that would be the expectation, but we better put a little bit of extra emphasis on that could be throw over, that could be additional downside. And so I'm still looking for the completion point for this fourth wave. But I want to just toss something out there and I'll go into more detail after we see how this trades, but it's up there on the shelf as an alternate, and that alternate would be that this minuet, let me just kind of go out to this one, this minute wave 4 would still be in motion, would still be, that this is A, and all of this is wave B of this minute. So instead of being a minuet third wave, it becomes a minuet B wave, and this whole thing is a C wave, and that's 1, 2, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and we're heading down. We're heading down. So that's up on the shelf, folks. But I have to if we break that, so we're still pretty far away. So I'm just tossing it out there as like, I have it. I got my eye on it. I'm not expecting it, but I always like being a little bit more prepared in case there is a surprise. So that low there is 6571.50. So I'm using 6571, but I'm going to tell you, if it breaks that, it can't just do it for a sliver and then come flying back up. It has to kind of keep going. And so that would just put that 4 over to here. And we definitely would be looking for it to get below 6591. So as it would continue to come down and that fourth wave comes in, and we can remark that. Now putting the calculations in for a C wave, and it would be an irregular. So I'm going to tell you where we'd be going. And that's just off the wall, 6508. So still not that bad in terms of, downside. It's not like the market and the world are going to fall apart. If it does go into that, this would be A and that would be B, and we'd be coming down in a C wave and expect 6,500 in the ES. So you're going to dip below 6,500 in the SPX. But I think everything survives, to be honest with you. If it comes about, not even saying it, it's an alternate, and it's a distant alternate still up on the shelf. All right, so I'm going to take that off. So what are our expectations? We can come down, we can stop, we can come down to 1.618, which is 66.96. That's kind of breaking here in this market in the ES below 6,700. The SPX, I don't believe it got below 6,700 today, but I'm just going to go take a look. No, it got down to 6707. So the deal is, it's like, if we're going to start heading down into here, then we're guaranteed, like even here, too much below 6730, the SPX will be dipping below 6700, and 6700 is a bigger level, or a stronger level, I should say, of support for the SPX. Okay, so now tomorrow's Friday. It's an expiration. And that expiration, it's kind of just I'm putting quotes around because we say, oh, it's just a regular Friday expiration. But I think, a lot can happen. So once again, I want to say, I believe that once we're done with this, I think this is what I'd be looking for. Again, a bounce up and off that just kind of kicks. I think this was early, but I don't think they're going to go away. I think that there are a lot of traders and funds that we're all expecting this upside move, and they want to be more prepared to kind of clean up anything down here. So we got a lot of the dealers, I think, are driving it lower, or it is just driving itself lower, but they're taking advantage of that, monetizing what they need to, cleaning up positions, because the turn's going to come, and then they're going to be back again, dealing with a lot of things in terms of buying. as a risk on trade will return. Volatility will start to slip again. But it did today, got above 20. So didn't last, but it did get above 20. And I saw what I felt were a lot of people covering probably some of the trades that they put on yesterday when we saw that stronger upside day. Okay, so in terms of economic data, none of it's going to be reported. I mean, we're due the U.S. employment report for October. Ain't going to happen. We're not going to see that. We're not going to get any of that. We do have the University of Michigan consumer sentiment, and we have consumer credit. It comes out at 3 p.m. So it's not really going to have much of anything. 10 a.m. University of Michigan consumer sentiment, and that's really it. That is really it. And then there's some Fed people out talking away. All right, so that actually is going to be it for today. I'll be updating the gamma levels tomorrow. Once again, they were very functional today and knowing what they were. Again, I report those on the morning update, and it is a members only update. And so they get those numbers. So you might want to consider just a membership if you have an interest in that. And you are a strong day trader in the S&P, the SPX, the options, the spiders, any of that stuff. That would be, you get a lot of information. All right, that's it. Our next update will be tomorrow morning.